big news yesterday. Morgan Rogers, seemingly an Arsenal target, but agreeing a deal with Chelsea for £170 million from Aston Villa. So huge signing for Xabi Alonso, as of course Rogers was a player very much on the wanted list by multiple clubs. Is this a statement of intent for Chelsea Football Club? Let's bring in the host of Chelsea Fan TV, Alex Harris, to give us more on this. Morning, Alex.
Morning, Alex.
Good morning, guys. Good to be back.
Yeah, absolutely. So look, as a Chelsea fan, you must be delighted. Where does he play?
I think he plays on the left. I think it's, to be honest with you, like I heard that at Arsenal he would have been a left winger, and we were sort of saying to him that you could play in a variety of positions, maybe in a 10, maybe on the right-hand side. And I think that's fair enough because we haven't really had a lot of stability over the past few years. Like we do change formations. I think a 4-2-3-1 is the main formation we've used, but there's a good chance that Xabi Alonso potentially plays a back three with some wing backs. So like I can't say with certainty where he's going to play, but you would presume on the left because he's a clear upgrade on Gittins and Garnacho. I'd rather have him on the left than Neto, and Palmer down the middle. You know, that's what we've been doing for the past couple of seasons, so I don't see why that would change. And yeah, I think like a lot of people were complaining, not in terms of the signing, but in terms of the position, you know, because we would prioritise a left back like Lacroix, but even still, like it's a clear upgrade. And so even if you've got loads of left wingers, it's important that you have one that's actually decent. And that's where this signing is so critical because, you know, Arsenal are interested. I think a number of sides would have been looking at a player like Morgan Rogers. And he's got so many qualities that you'd want in any side. And I think the main driving factor is that he's looking at this Chelsea team and he's going, I'm going to start every week. There's no way that Garnacho's playing ahead of me, etc. And I think he was pretty impressed with what Xabi Alonso had to say as well. What I will say is that I saw a brief that every single director from Chelsea was involved in this transfer, as if they deserve credit for this negotiation. You know, we've spent 117 million, so we haven't exactly driven a bargain, really, have we? And Eghbali again has to get involved to get the transfer over the line. So for me, this is an Eghbali deal, and that's fine. But you know, with the directors, I don't really understand why they would get any credit for this. You know, if we were spending 80 million, then it's totally different. You go, okay, that's I
think when you look at the signing, Alex, I know him very well. Obviously, Aston Villa supporter. Even if Alonso does play that 3-4-2-1 that he liked at Leverkusen and play 2 10s, he could play Palmer and Rogers as 2 10s, but he can play off the left, not off the right. Doesn't suit him over there. But what you got, mate, from this player is somebody who will receive the ball under pressure. And I've never seen a player who can drive with the ball. He's quicker when he's running with the ball. He's got such strength, skill, and he can finish as well. Honestly, you've got an all-round top player here in Morgan Rogers. I think he's going to get better and better. Let's not forget, he's only 23. He's going to learn a lot from Alonso. And I think it's going to be a huge success at Chelsea Football Club.
I think that's another reason we spend the money, because people are going, why didn't we spend 20 million on Xhaka? The guy's 10 years older. So actually, when you look at Rodgers, like we all know that Chelsea like signing young players. And so he fits perfectly into the model in that sense. But this is what we were promised years ago, that we would sign the best young players. And this is what we were promised. So thanks 4 years later for actually getting something done. But listen, better late than never. I think, I think we'll get Lacroix over the line. And I think, honestly, even just getting that deal done and obviously Palestra as a fullback as well, like it's a much better window. You know, This is what Chelsea fans have been asking for. A couple of ready-made players, a couple of decent players. And we can't complain about that. Listen, if they get injured and the manager struggles, that's one thing. But I'd rather sign 2 or 3 really solidified players than 6 or 7 young guys that, to be honest, a lot of people haven't necessarily even heard of.
And touch wood, he doesn't miss a minute, mate. He literally plays every game under Unai Emery. Like, he must never be in the red zone and risk of injury. Touch wood, it carries on for him.
Yeah, and Alex, I know you don't want to give praise to the director. Whose responsibility this was, who knows? I mean, obviously, Xabi Alonso spoke directly to Morgan Rogers. Reece James apparently spoke to him during the course of the World Cup. Cole Palmer was texting him as well. But it's a coup, isn't it? Because, with the best one in the world, Chelsea 10th last season. They got no Champions League football last season. And we presume he could have gone to the title holders with Champions League football next season in Arsenal. So it's a massive coup for Chelsea.
I think that the most impressive thing is the speed of the deal. I mean, you got to give credit for that, right? I think that one of the most annoying things is constantly seeing these briefs. We're negotiating. We're thinking about this player. We're trying to find a wage that works for everyone. And it's just like, for crying out loud, I don't want to hear that. Just like you don't want to hear that England played well, but we lost, right? Nobody cares. Go and win, i.e. go and sign the player and then everyone's happy. So, like, when you put it in black and white, it's a great signing. Yeah. Sure, we overspent. We beat Arsenal and we were very, very efficient in that sense. So they definitely deserve credit for that. I think
it's exciting as well, the relationship he's got with Palmer. They're really good friends, same celebration. I'm sure you'll see the best of Palmer as well with someone he can play off in Morgan Rogers.
Yeah, I don't really, I don't know the formation we're going to play. So, like, it's difficult for me to really visualize exactly what's going to happen. I think that if we've got wing backs, they can overlap and Rodgers can come on the inside with Palmer, something like that. That would be really nice to see. But listen, the most important thing is we've got someone who's 100% an upgrade. It's clear. Yeah. And if he doesn't perform, it's his fault, right? Yeah. Because the pressure's on him now. It's not like we've brought in someone who's never played at this level. Another great thing is the fact that he's actually willing to shoot.
Yes.
And the problem is we don't score enough goals from outside the box. And I don't necessarily know if Morgan Rogers' conversion rate is great, but when you shoot a certain amount of times, you are going to score eventually. And he scored some cracking goals from outside the box. So that's something else that is going to be a good bit of variety for this team.
Alex, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you, Alex.
David's an Arsenal fan. He says, yeah, it'll be great for Chelsea like he was for us in the World Cup. We dodged a bullet. Come on, Dave. Get real.
Jeff, I
had such limited opportunities in the World Cup.
I watched him, obviously, Jeff, Aston Villa fan, and I had to message him last night. I said to him, listen, thank you for everything you've done for my football club. Wish you all the best in the future. He replied, thank you, mate. I really appreciate it. And I want every Villa fan to be like that. With Digne, with Tielemans, with Rodgers, these players won our first trophy since 1982 and have been a fantastic group of players for his football club. They've moved on now, no problem. I'm sure we will get a good standing ovation when he comes back to Villa Park, Morgan Rogers.
And we'll talk about it more later on, but it's a body blow for Unai Emery again.
Oh,
I mean, he was like Unai Emery's son.
That's what I said yesterday. Gaffer's son he is.
Yeah, so it's, and I think maybe we'll discuss Unai Emery and his future a little later.
Yeah, the problem is as well, Jeff, like he was everything to our attacks.
Yeah.
You had that one player, Jeff, who could run with the ball and drive. We had Jacob Ramsey could do it. Now we've lost our only player that is that style. Listen, great to bring in Manzambi, great to bring in Gomez, but we need a similar player to Morgan Rogers.
Yeah, look, Manzambi and Gomez, they are not Rogers and Tielemans.
Different players.
Yeah,
but they're not a number 10 like Morgan Rogers or winger. They're centre midfielders. We need to replace him. If that's Somerville, if that's Jonathan Rowe, I'm sure the manager has got something lined up.
Yeah. Thanks very much indeed, mate, and thanks to the host of Chelsea Fan TV, Alex Harris.